Have you ever seen water so clear it feels like you're floating on glass, or beaches so untouched it feels like a secret paradise no one's told you about yet? Most people think the Seychelles is just another tropical stop. They're wrong. There are places here that are so breathtaking they'll ruin every other vacation you take after this. You're about to see 5 spots in the Seychelles that are so unforgettable, so ridiculously beautiful, you'll be planning your trip before this video ends. Some are famous for a reason, others are hidden gems even travel pros don't talk about. And there's one spot on this list that travelers whisper about like it's a myth. But it's real, and you can actually go there. Let's get started. First up, Anse Source d'Argent on Aride Island. If you've ever seen a glossy travel magazine with giant granite boulders hugging a powdery beach, chances are you were looking at Anse Source d'Argent. This beach is world famous, but here's what most people don't know. The best time to go is early morning, before 9 a.m., when the tide is low and the water turns into a natural infinity pool. Locals call it the golden hour, because the light hits the rocks and water just right, making everything glow. Bring snorkel gear, the shallow reef is full of colorful fish, and if you're lucky, you'll spot baby reef sharks that are harmless but make for an unforgettable story later. Getting there is easy. Rent a bike on Aride, it's a car-free island, and follow the signs through vanilla plantations. Half the magic is that ride through the palm-lined paths before the beach even appears. Second, Vallée Domain Nature Reserve on Praslin Island. Think of this as the Jurassic Park of palm forests, minus the dinosaurs. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site for a reason. The reserve is home to the famous Coco de Mer palm, which grows the largest seed in the plant kingdom. The trees are massive, their leaves taller than you, and when the wind moves through them it sounds like ocean waves. Scientists say this forest is almost exactly like it was when dinosaurs roamed the earth, over 65 million years ago. There's a good chance you'll spot the black parrot, a rare bird that only lives in the Seychelles. If you go, pick the guided tour. The guides tell you about the plants used for medicine, old legends about the palms, and how locals once believed the Coco de Mer washed up from an underwater forest. It's like walking through a living museum, except you can touch everything. Third on our list is Curieuse Island, just a 15-minute boat ride from Praslin. This island used to be a leper colony, yes, really, but now it's a sanctuary for giant Aldabra tortoises. Some of these gentle giants are over 150 years old. You can walk among them, feed them leaves, and even watch them lumber down to the beach. The island also has a mangrove forest with a boardwalk trail, perfect for photos, and one of the best snorkeling spots nearby at St. Pierre Island. The contrast is wild. Ancient tortoises on land, bright schools of fish underwater. And because it's a protected area, it feels uncrowded and peaceful. If you're looking for a place that's both Instagram-worthy and story-worthy, Curieuse gives you both. Fourth, we have Anse Lazio, also on Praslin. Travel websites constantly rank this as one of the top beaches in the world, and for once, the hype is justified. This is the kind of beach you dream about when you're stuck in traffic. Long stretch of soft white sand, calm turquoise water, and a fringe of palm trees that actually provide shade. But here's the catch. Most visitors stay near the main entrance, so it can feel busy. If you walk to the far right side of the beach, past the rocks, you'll find a small cove where it's quieter and feels almost private. This is also the best spot for snorkeling. Bring bread or fruit and you'll have fish eating out of your hands within seconds. Nearby restaurants like Bon Bon Plume serve fresh grilled fish right on the sand, so you can literally step out of the water and have lunch. Few places deliver that lost in paradise vibe as effortlessly as Anse Lazio. Finally, the fifth spot, the one most travelers don't even know about, Aride Island. This is a nature reserve north of Praslin, and it's considered the most important seabird island in the Indian Ocean. Access is limited. Only a few tour operators are allowed to land here, and numbers are capped daily. That's why it feels like stepping into another world. The cliffs are covered with nesting birds, noddies, tropic birds, and frigate birds with their red balloon chests. There are no hotels, no restaurants, just pure nature. The island is also home to rare plants and has some of the healthiest coral reefs in the Seychelles. If you want to see the Seychelles as they were centuries ago, untouched and wild, Aride is it. People who've been here say it's like time travel. Now, let's be real for a second. Planning a trip to the Seychelles sounds like a dream, but it also feels overwhelming. Which island do you choose? How do you even get between them? And is it all super expensive? These are the questions that stop most people from booking. The truth is, the Seychelles is made up of 115 islands, but the main ones, Mahé, Praslin, and Ladigue, are connected by ferries and short flights. Day trips to places like Curieuse or Aride are easy from Praslin. As for cost, yes, it can be pricey, but there are guest houses and self-catering apartments that are way cheaper than the luxury resorts you see online. Local buses are just $1 or $2. Street food like grilled fish or samosas is cheap and delicious. The biggest mistake people make is assuming the Seychelles is off limits unless you're rich. It's not. Here's something else nobody tells you. The best time to go isn't necessarily the peak season. April, May, October, and November are considered shoulder seasons. The weather is still gorgeous, the sea is calmer for snorkeling, and there are fewer crowds. Flights and hotels are often cheaper too. So if you want those postcard-perfect beaches without 100 other people in your photo, aim for those months. Another challenge? Deciding what kind of experience you want. The Seychelles can be a lazy beach holiday, a hiking and nature trip, or a diving adventure. For hiking, there's Morne Seychellois National Park on Mahé with trails through misty forests up to panoramic viewpoints. For diving, the inner islands offer coral reefs full of life, while the outer islands like Aldabra, if you can afford the trip, are almost completely untouched. Knowing this ahead of time helps you plan which islands to base yourself on. Let's dive deeper into the 5 spots so you know exactly what makes each one special. Back to Anse Source d'Argent, photographers love it because the light changes throughout the day. Morning gives you golden glow, midday gives you neon blue water, and sunset turns everything pink and orange. It's also shallow and protected by a reef, so even if you're not a strong swimmer you can wade out far without worry. Because Ladigue has no cars, it feels slower and more relaxed. You'll hear birds instead of engines. Imagine biking back from the beach, stopping at a roadside stand for fresh coconut water. That's the kind of simple moment that sticks with you. Vallée de Mai is more than just palm trees. Legend says this was the original Garden of Eden. When you walk under the canopy, it feels believable. The air is humid but cool, filled with birdsong and the rustle of giant leaves. The coco de mer nuts are huge, shaped unlike any other seed on Earth. Some weigh up to 30 kilos. Guides tell stories of how sailors once thought they came from a magical underwater tree because they'd find the nuts floating in the ocean far from any land. It's part science, part myth, and completely unforgettable. On Curieuse Island, besides the tortoises, you'll find the old leprosarium ruins and the doctor's house, a colonial-style building turned into a museum. It's eerie and fascinating at the same time. The mangrove boardwalk is a short hike but full of crabs scuttling across the mud and birds hunting among the roots. Afterward, you can picnic on the beach or snorkel off the boat. Few places in the world let you touch a 150-year-old tortoise, walk through history, and swim in crystal water all in the same day. Anse Lazio's secret cove feels like a private beach. The water here gets a bit deeper, so it's better for confident swimmers, but the waves are usually gentle. Local vendors sometimes sell fresh fruit or coconut ice cream right on the sand. It's the kind of place where you lose track of time, reading a book under a palm tree, and suddenly realize the sun is setting. Aride Island is for the adventurous. Because it's protected, there's no infrastructure, you bring your own water and snacks. Guides lead you up trails to viewpoints where you can see endless blue ocean dotted with other islands. The smell of the seabird colonies is strong, but the sight of thousands of birds in flight at once is something you'll never forget. Snorkeling here is spectacular because the reefs are so healthy. It's like peeking into an aquarium, except it's real and wild. All 5 of these places show a different side of the Seychelles. The beaches like Anse Source d'Argent and Anse Lazio are the classic paradise shots. Vallée de Mai and Aride show the ancient and wild side. Curieuse mixes history and wildlife in one package. Together, they make a trip that's not just about lying on the sand but about stories you'll tell for years. So what's the key moment of your Seychelles trip going to be? Watching the sunrise alone on a world-famous beach before anyone else arrives? Walking under palms older than history itself? Feeding a tortoise older than your grandparents? Standing on a cliff with thousands of seabirds swirling around you? These are the kinds of moments that stick. They're why people come back again and again. Here's the bottom line. Seychelles isn't just another tropical destination. It's a living postcard, a place where nature still feels wild, and where you can find your own secret corner of paradise. You don't have to be rich, you don't have to stay in a resort, and you don't have to stick to the same crowded spots everyone else does. With a little planning, you can experience beaches, forests, and wildlife you won't find anywhere else. If this video opened your eyes to what's possible in the Seychelles, stick around. The next video popping up will show you hidden travel hacks to make island hopping cheaper and easier. So go tap it now and start planning your trip. If this helped you feel even 1% better, go ahead and hit that like button, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more simple ways to upgrade your life every day.